One, two, three, four,
Live
five.
between Amsterdam and Athens. Traffic situation is very different.
5 reasons why people move to Greece. This is Athens vibe.
Favorite Greek word halara. And why some people are leaving.
Take it or leave it.
Why do people move to Greece and then leave? Today I'll name 5 reasons. It's quite possible I won't be far from the truth if I say that Greece is among the top 10 dream destinations for many foreign people, and not only from Europe but also from United States and Australia. And in my opinion, Greece usually attracts people who are a bit older, around 40 or 45 and up. I can judge by myself. The older I get, the more I want to live somewhere warm and sunny, close to the sea. And Greece fits that image perfectly. But is life here really as magical as it seems at first? Based on my many years of living here and the experiences of my friends and acquaintances, I decided to make this video and share 5 reasons why people move to Greece and why some of them eventually leave.
Hi guys, in this video from 2024 I named 5 reasons why people move to Greece and why eventually some of them are leaving back to their home countries. If you randomly came to this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel Artemis Moved to Greece, and I will see you in the comments.
Hey friends, before I continue, let me remind you you're watching Artemis Moved to Greece. I'm constantly traveling across Europe by car, train, bus or plane. I use public transport, meet people and simply enjoy life as it comes. And life, like a train, painted in the brightest colors, keeps catching up with me, whether it's a clocked sync, a delayed flight that leaves me walking through the city at night, or just another spontaneous adventure. I also promote a healthy lifestyle, work out and of course love my coffee. I enjoy walking, soaking up the sun and being near the sea. And that's what I share here on my channel. So if you enjoy that too, support me by subscribing. Since this is a blog, let me start with my own story, why, how and when I first came to Greece. I've been living in the Netherlands since 2007. I moved there simply to find a job. That was the only reason, because honestly I never really liked that country.
Now in Greece in 2025 I start to appreciate some things back in Amsterdam.
What bothered me the most in the Netherlands was the weather. I call the Netherlands the land of endless autumn. The sky is always grey, and even when it clears up, there is frost in the air. But for me, sunshine is essential. During my years in the Netherlands, I often traveled to Spain and other sunny countries. Funny enough, Greece was never on my list of places to visit. It only happened by a coincidence. I first came to Greece in October 2017 when I was invited to visit the island of Samos.
Hello Manolis!
The route from Amsterdam went through Athens, and my layover was just 2 hours, but that was enough. I stepped outside the airport, saw people relaxing on benches, breathed in the Athens air, and it reminded me so much of summer back home in Siberia. Right then, I knew I would come back to Athens. And 2 weeks later, exactly in 2017, end of October, I came to Athens for 5 days just to see the city. And I immediately fell in love with this energy, this unique Athens vibe. Since then, I've been going back and forth, Amsterdam, Athens, but honestly, I spent most of my time here in Athens in last 7 years. For example, I stayed in Athens during the lockdowns of 2020 and 2021. I would come, then leave, then come again, but while I was trying to live between two worlds, the world itself and everything happening in it was changing at an incredible speed.
And I was changing too, absorbing a bit of every country and city I've lived in.
Over time, more cities joined my list of places I could live in. Riga, for example, Latvia is my ethnic homeland and I really love Riga. Plus, it's one of the most affordable cities in Europe when it comes to housing. Latvia is quite a developed country, infrastructure is quite good. Most of people do speak English or also Russian, and I really love the nature of Latvia. Then there is Thessaloniki. I lived there for a month and I realized that I still prefer Athens. I also spent some time in Bulgaria, which first attracted me with its cheap real estate, but then, well, let's just say life had other plans for me. Once in Bulgaria, I've been standing there for a couple of hours. They blocked the road, even brought kids to stop the traffic because apparently some factory got shut down, so people protested. I also spent some time in Istanbul. It's a great city. I'd love to go back there again and again. I've made videos from all of these places. You can find them on my channel, maybe in the future because I'm translating them currently. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do it right now. But in the end, I did not find any place that I would like more or that would suit me more than Athens, Greece. If it weren't for one big but. And that's exactly why it's time to look at the 5 reasons why people move to Greece and whether everything is really as perfect as it seems. Gyros, souvlaki, seafood, Greek desserts. My god, Greece has everything. And don't forget about Greek coffee. Let me know in the comments which type of Greek coffee you like the best. To say the truth, I love Greek food, but as always, things aren't as simple as they seem. Just recently, I went to do grocery shopping and was shocked at the prices of ready made Greek food. And that actually shows very clearly what the cost of living in Greece is like in 2024. I would like to remind you that these videos were made in 2023-2024, but the prices are just gone up even more in 2025. Everything became really expensive. Sometimes I honestly don't even know how people survive in Greece. Because I'm a single guy, sometimes I'm buying just ready meals from, for example, Sklavinitis. It does save time and probably money, although even the prices for ready meals have become quite expensive. But the quality of food is very good at Sklavinitis and other Greek shops. An example, eating out at a small cafe, how it's called estiatoria. I tell about more things at my Instagram account, Artem and Greece. Follow for more daily stories at my Instagram. Festive food in Greece is a story of its own. Wow! Recently there was a holiday here called Clean Monday, Sarakosti. Or is it Kathara Deftera? Honestly, I still don't know the difference, so if you do, let me know in the comments. This is the story. The hosts of the apartment I was staying in, which I actually showed in my previous video, invited me to try their real clean Monday lunch. And wow, that was an experience. It was my first time trying a traditional Greek Sarakasti meal, all this seafood. Let's take a look together at what we had that day. Greeks in general are incredibly kind, warm, and generous people. And that brings me to the next reason why so many people move to Greece.
Before I continue with reason 4 why people move to Greece, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watching this video, who puts a like, who writes a comments, and who subscribe to my channel Artemis Moved to Greece.
The fourth reason are the people. Greeks are famous in the world by traditional Greek hospitality. I'm sure many of you watching this video would agree. In all the years I've been living between Greece and the Netherlands, I've never met aggressive or mean people. Of course, like in any country, there are exceptions. But generally speaking, most of Greek people are genuinely kind, warm, and very welcoming. Another great thing about Athens is that it's the capital, a city that's becoming more and more international every year. There are constantly new events, meetups, and gatherings popping up. Athens is definitely not a place where you will be bored. And I know what I'm talking about. I've been spending long periods here since the end of 2017 and I've seen it happen with my own eyes. The number of events and activities has grown in direct proportion to the number of foreigners moving to Athens. There was, of course, a small pause during the lockdowns of 2020 and 2021, but after that, it all became back even stronger. It feels like people really missed traveling and sunshine during those years, and now they're making up for it. If you are looking for events or activities, it's hard to name just one place. Personally, I use Facebook and Meetup.com, but there are so many other websites where you can find information about different gatherings, especially for expats and visitors in Athens. Plenty of meetups and cool events are happening every week in Athens. There is one word that really defines life in Greece, and it's halara. It means relax, don't stress, and take it easy. But halara means not only the quiet hours between 3 and 5 p.m., or when everything shuts down. Well, halara is more a way of life. It's kind of Greek philosophy. It's a Greek version of manana or siesta. But basically, from my experience, I can tell that it's like a permanent condition. This is actually the way of life in Greece, halara. And this is true, Greeks live by halara. For them, being late for a meeting like for 10, 20 or 30 minutes is perfectly normal. Or sometimes you agree to meet in one place and they suddenly appear in another, also quite normal. To me, this organized chaos can be charming but also a bit frustrating. Over the time, I started to realize that I just cannot really adapt to it. And during 5 or 6 years of my almost permanent life in Greece, mostly in Athens, I discovered another thing. For me personally, it was really hard to integrate into Greek society. I was mostly hanging out with other foreigners like myself. Sure, I also do have some Greek acquaintances, but forming a real friendship with a Greek person that's been surprisingly difficult. I discovered that people might read your messages and never reply, ghosting, or never read messages at all. People might promise to call and never do this. People very often can also give you a lot of promises, but well, this is a bit of responsibility, and at one point I realized I am not going and I am not able to change that. Or you take it or just leave it. And actually, I came to a conclusion, my personal one, that the real integration, unlike Western countries in Greece, is possible only through one way through a marriage with a Greek person. Number three, the weather. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I kept leaving Greece, but I always was coming back. The climate in Greece. Greece, especially the region around Athens, is basically 9 months of summer. Temperatures above 20 degrees of Celsius almost all year around. You can swim any time of the year. Sure, in winter the water is a bit cold, but that doesn't stop the locals who love their winter swims. Athens is also a perfect base for exploring the Greek islands. You remember the old saying, in Greece there is everything. Well, it's true, at least to some extent. History, culture, food, happy people, the sea, the sun, the mountains, all of this makes Athens a very attractive place to live. But Let's be honest, the weather is not always ideal. From late April or May, the temperature stays around 30 degrees of Celsius. In July and August, it rarely drops below 35. Even now, it's early April, and in my gym, I can already feel the air conditioners struggling to keep up. I also love running, but running outdoors in Athens is almost impossible. Even after 10 a.m. in spring, it's already too hot. And besides that, there aren't many parks, and the sidewalks are, well, let's just say, not ideal. And then, on the other hand, winters can be surprisingly cold. This is a photo from February 16, 2021. Winters of 2021, 22, and 23 were quite cold. Snow fell and stayed for 2 or 3 days. I loved it. It reminded me of my childhood in Siberia and also of my years in Latvia. But for Greeks, it was a pure chaos. The whole city shut down, schools, shops, everything. Athens basically turned into a snowy ghost town, and children got some unexpected holidays. Unfortunately, unlike the Netherlands, while it was really amazing outside, in Athens I was freezing in an old unheated apartment. Then I was not really drinking coffee and watching the snow falling in a heated apartment because there were no central heating. Even although some of apartments do have fireplaces, the central heating for an apartment is not a rule in 2025, and the most of apartments are being heated by air conditioner. And if you're a lucky one, you have an inventor or an energy saving one. Gas is also not available everywhere. Sometimes it's delivered in metal balloons, which feels a bit risky. Although I have never heard about any local gas explosion. Still, to me personally, it feels a bit dangerous. Some people use electric radiators, cheap or fancy ones, everyone finds their own solution. But the colder the winter, the higher your bills. More electricity, more gas, more heating. And speaking about that, I'm gradually taking you to the next reason why people are moving to Greece. It's because the cost of living in Greece. So, yes, now let's speak about prices. And prices unfortunately gone up really dramatically. And this is first of all not only about grocery prices but also about housing prices, both rents and buy. In my previous video I already told about prices for rent in Athens 2024 and 2025. 1 year ago, I've seen comments under my videos saying housing in Athens is so cheap you can rent a two-bedroom for 350 euros. Well, it's possible, but only if you've lived there for a long time and you have friends, relatives, or local connections who can offer you a good deal. That the cost of living was actually one of the reasons I personally moved to Greece and I started to live a long time there in 2018. At that time, I remember in Amsterdam, just a room would cost me 600 euros a month, and in Athens, in the Pangrate area, I rented a small but cozy studio, fully furnished and in a great neighborhood for just 350 euros a month plus bills. You know how Facebook sometimes show you old photos or memories from this same day, but years ago. Well, today I got a memory too, but in the form of a message that perfectly shows how much prices in Athens have changed in just the last 3 years. Here is what monthly Airbnb rentals looked like back in early April 2021. And here are the prices for April 2024. 3 years ago, you could find a place for 5, 600 euros, maybe 700 euros a month. And now, the same kind of apartments go for 900 euros or even 1000 euros, and that's on Airbnb. Prices have grown a lot, but have our incomes, especially the incomes of Greeks, grown as much? Unfortunately, of course, not. And it's not only rent that went up, electricity and gas bills have too. This time, I spent a month here after coming from Amsterdam, again checking the housing market just to see what's going on. I viewed 7 apartments and realized I simply was not ready to pay 500 euros for a small garçoniera in a 1970s building with all the vintage charm that comes with it. Greece is wonderful, but only when you own a home. And speaking of that, real estate prices have skyrocketed too. I know people who just 5 or 6 years ago bought one-bedroom apartments in good Athens neighborhoods for just 20-25k euro. And where was I back then? Well, I was in Amsterdam trying to make money. I simply did not have that amount of money at that time. What's the price of these apartments now? 75k at least. Imagine that prices tripled in just 5 years. Can you imagine this would be happening in America? Prices tripling in 5 years, that just does not happen. Even in Amsterdam, during the same 5 year period, prices went from about 250 to 450,000 euros for an average apartment, so less than double. But the Netherlands has a massive, developed, dynamic housing market with thousands of participants, new districts, and construction everywhere. It's an organic market. While in Greece, I suspect it's just the opposite. The housing market here is completely non organic. Why? Because what I think most of Greeks themselves don't participate in housing market. They cannot afford to rent for 650 euros. They simply don't have that kind of money. What about getting a mortgage? It's practically impossible. Also, they're changing the rules for new families. In general, there are a lot of other issues, big and small. As an example, the island of Astipalia. It does not have a single full-time urban cleaner. What I heard, property sale transactions can take months to complete because of Greek bureaucracy. Infrastructure in general is poorly developed, no parking, and a lot of things are just missing. Although, to be fair, Greece has made a lot of progress in infrastructure over the past years that I've been living here. But the laws still work poorly, and the ones that exist often aren't enforced. For example, last year, the owner of my rental apartment literally broke down the door and started throwing my things out into the street. So I went to the police thinking, okay, this man might be dangerous not only to me but to others too, so I should file a report, and the police refused to take it. As a result, I had to deal with the money issues directly with the owner. That honestly was one of the biggest shocks I've had in recent years in Greece. Well, congratulations, my friends. If you are still watching this video, we finally reached the last point on my list. The reasons why people move to Greece and also why some of them start thinking about leaving Greece. Right now, private investors are massively selling off apartments that were originally bought for short-term or long-term rentals. Here on this slide you can see a screenshot from the Netherlands Times, an English-language newspaper in Holland. It talks about how many investors are now dumping their rental properties simply because the economy and regulations are changing. But this is about the Netherlands. Of course, in this video I'm only scratching the surface. There are so many other aspects of Greek life and reasons why people decide to move here, to enjoy this Greek vibe every day, to make friends or maybe even finding a partner. participate in different sort of activities, enjoying Greek sun, or even learning Greek language or anything else, because the higher education in Greece is free. There is so much more to tell about reasons why people are moving to Greece and why are people considering moving back to their home countries.
Life in Greece is such a big topic which cannot be described in just one video. So if you like this information, please put a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my future videos. Don't forget to write your comment. What have brought you to Greece? Why you think of moving to Greece, or why you have moved out from Greece? See you in the comments.
And finally, the last reason why many non-European citizens choose to move to Greece, the Golden Visa program. Let's first understand what it actually is, because for many people it sounds mysterious. So according to Wikipedia, and that's a source you can definitely trust, a Golden Visa is an investment program that allows you to obtain residency in a country through significant financial investment. I'll also leave the link to that article in the description. Unfortunately, it's only in English. Back in the day, another popular destination for Golden Visa holders from other non-European countries was Cyprus, but the Cyprus program has since been closed, which explains why so many foreign nationals acquired interest in purchasing properties in Greece and Athens, which would give me a significant advantage acquiring permanent residency in a European country. In Greece, the Golden Visa program was introduced in 2013, right in the middle of the country's deep economic crisis. By 2023, more than 20 countries were offering similar programs. But Greece stood out for having the lowest entry threshold, just 250,000 euros. By 2023, over 10,000 people had received residency under the Golden Visa program, plus about 18,000 of their family members. And this, of course, fueled an endless rise in prices, even for not so great properties. As a result, the Greek government tried to regulate the real estate market. By the end of 2023, the Golden Visa threshold in the most popular areas, like around Athens, was raised. Just recently, I saw on TV some new restrictions regarding the Golden Visa program, and starting from 2023, there were more and more changes coming into the market. For example, the entry threshold is now 800,000 euros in some areas of Athens and Greece, making the Golden Visa in Greece truly golden. Of course, with some exceptions, but according to the changes of law in Greece in 2025, which I was talking about in the previous video, the properties which were purchased under the Golden Visa program are not allowed anymore to be rented on Airbnb platform. Lawmakers hope this will slow the rental price increase. But what about the people who already paid huge amounts for these properties, often not the most liquid real estate? Many of these buildings were built in the mid 20th century. Thin walls, no soundproofing, no insulation, basically cardboards like apartments, and there are tons of abandoned buildings all over Athens. Just take a walk around Athens, avoiding the carefully maintained central or prestigious neighborhoods. You will see what I mean. Here's another abandoned building. Another one, a graffiti covered underpass. And here, someone apparently burned a homeless person's sleeping spot. This is also Athens. Many Golden Visa holders aren't even trying to integrate into the society. Take some people from China, for example, who move here just to get a European residency. Last month, I visited two apartments owned by citizens of China. They bought them purely to move around Europe. They don't speak Greek, not even English. For me, even if the price is great, I would never rent from someone I cannot really communicate with. And there are countless such cases in this city. The new Golden Visa regulations came into effect on March 31st, 2024, with a transition period, but it's a bit of a vicious cycle. Laws get passed but don't work or work selectively. Take parking, for example. I've seen cars parked illegally hundreds of times, and only sometimes did I see a ticket. Anyway, what about me? I'm packing my suitcase again. Yes, after living 5 years in Greece, I decided to check out some other destinations. If you want to follow my journeys, my news, and my exploration of other countries, make sure to subscribe to my channel right now. I think I have much more to tell, and not only about Greece but also about other countries. So, I appreciate a lot for you watching this video till the end. If you like the information, please put a like, subscribe to my channel Artemis Moved to Greece, and I see you in the comments. What you think about Greece and what is your own experience? See you in the next video.